Sahih al-Bukhari 1861. Narrated Aisha, mother of the faithful believers. I said, O Allah's Messenger, shouldn't we participate in holy battles and jihad along with you? He replied, the best and the most superior jihad for women is Hajj, which is accepted by Allah. Aisha added, ever since I heard that from Allah's Messenger, I have determined not to miss Hajj. Sahih al-Bukhari 1862. Narrated Ibn Abbas. The Prophet said, a woman should not travel except with a dhu mahram, her husband or a man with whom that woman cannot marry at all according to the Islamic jurisprudence, and no man may visit her except in the presence of a dhu mahram. A man got up and said, O Allah's Messenger, I intend to go to such and such an army and my wife wants to perform Hajj. The Prophet said to him, go along with her to Hajj. Sahih al-Bukhari 1863. Narrated Ibn Abbas. When the Prophet returned after performing his Hajj, he asked Sinan al-Ansari, what did forbid you to perform Hajj? She replied, father of so-and-so, i.e. her husband, had 2 camels and he performed Hajj on one of them, and the second is used for the irrigation of our land. The Prophet said to her, perform Umrah in the month of Ramadan, as it is equivalent to Hajj or Hajj with me, in reward. Sahih al-Bukhari 1864. Narrated Khaza'eh, the slave of Ziyad. Abu Sa'idi, who participated in 12 Ghazawat with the Prophet, said, I heard 4 things from Allah's Messenger, or I narrate them from the Prophet, which won my admiration and appreciation. They are, -1. No lady should travel without her husband or without a dhu mahram for a 2 days journey. -2. No fasting is permissible on 2 days of Eid al-Fitr and Eid al-Adha. -3. No prayer may be offered after 2 prayers, after the Asr prayer till the sunset and after the morning prayer till the sun rises. -4. Not to travel for visiting except for 3 mosques, Masjid al-Haram in Mecca, my mosque in Medinah, and Masjid al-Aqsa in Jerusalem. Sahih al-Bukhari 1865. Narrated Anas. The Prophet saw an old man walking, supported by his 2 sons, and asked about him. The people informed him that he had vowed to go on foot to the Kaaba. He said, Allah is not in need of this old man's torturing himself, and ordered him to ride. Sahih al-Bukhari 1866. Narrated Utbah bin Amir. My sister vowed to go on foot to the Kaaba, and she asked me to take the verdict of the Prophet about it. So, I did, and the Prophet said she should walk and also should ride. Narrated al-Bukhari from Uqba as above. Sahih al-Bukhari 1867. Narrated Anas. The Prophet said, Medina is a sanctuary from that place to that. Its trees should not be cut and no heresy should be innovated nor any sin should be committed in it, and whoever innovates in it in heresy or commits sins, bad deeds, then he will incur the curse of Allah, the angels, and all the people. See Hadith Number 409, Volume 9. Sahih al-Bukhari 1868. Narrated Anas. The Prophet came to Medina and ordered a mosque to be built and said, O Bani Najjar, suggest to me the price of your land. They said, we do not want its price except from Allah, i.e. they wished for a reward from Allah for giving up their land freely. So, the Prophet ordered the graves of the pagans to be dug out and the land to be leveled, and the date palm trees to be cut down. The cut data palms were fixed in the direction of the Qibla of the mosque. Sahih al-Bukhari 1869. Narrated Abu Hurairah. The Prophet said, I have made Medina a sanctuary between its 2 Harat mountains. The Prophet went to the tribe of Bani Harita and said to them, I see that you have gone out of the sanctuary, but looking around, he added, no, you are inside the sanctuary. Sahih al-Bukhari 1870. Narrated Ali. We have nothing except the Book of Allah and this written paper from the Prophet, wherein is written, Medina is a sanctuary from the air mountain to such and such a place, and whoever innovates in it in heresy or commits a sin, or gives shelter to such an innovator in it will incur the curse of Allah, the angels, and all the people. None of his compulsory or optional good deeds of worship will be accepted. and the asylum of protection granted by any Muslim is to be secured, respected, by all the other Muslims, and whoever betrays a Muslim in this respect incurs the curse of Allah, the angels, and all the people, and none of his compulsory or optional good deeds of worship will be accepted, and whoever, freed slave, befriends, take as masters, other than his manumitters without their permission incurs the curse of Allah, the angels, and all the people, and none of his compulsory or optional good deeds of worship will be accepted.